Do you also mean regional budget, or just, does that fall into that category? Do you?
I have budget as a whole separate
Thing, okay, yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Budget?
It would not at all surprise me if that ends up getting overlap.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you want me to write budget while we're on the topic?
Because it's unique.
Okay. Okay, what else? We'll go down this side. I saw, yep.
Special education.
Okay. What else? Yes.
More on the broad side, supporting students, but that's like
Yes.
mentally in classroom, however.
What else? Yep.
I had supporting student mental health, but staff mental health.
Yep.
So student and staff mental health.
Or student culture, like, or I mean,
Okay.
school culture.
School culture, sorry.
Or like, maybe school culture would be part of that, I don't know.
We'll put it up on its
Or
own
maybe
and
it's
we
not.
can see, yeah.
Yeah, that'll
Because that, actually, you're raising a good point, Jessica, because sometimes you may decide that you want to sort of cluster things and say, can we ask a question that encompasses these things? Sure. Sorry, there was another hand over here.
Yeah.
Yes?
Curriculum development.
Yeah.
Can I add a second one?
Hmm?
Can I add a second one?
Of course.
Teacher professional growth.
Okay. Yep.
Something about communication, being transparent, being able to speak with both like the community, the schools, the parents, the teachers.
Okay. Yes.
Sorry.
No.
Something about like coordination between all three schools.
Ah, yes. There's a hand down at the end. No? Maybe? Yes? Okay, yep.
Communication with the community. Is that,
Okay, does
that's
that-
a little, I guess that falls.
Yep, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a star next to community, just to sort of emphasize the fact that that came up kind of in a couple of different contexts. Yep, Jessica.
It's a very wordy question, so basically it was like, you know, your journey how does your journey tell us about your longevity here? So it's like, you know, there are some people that were at districts for many years, but then there was a couple 111s in there.
Don't talk about
Well, no, I'm just saying, in general, like, describe how your journey tells us your longevity.
Okay. Over there, yeah.
So I kind of tied into coordination, but I'm curious about the vision for collaboration between the buildings, between the different teachers, the different grades, whatever. Just collaboration in general.
Yep, good, okay. Your hands over here, yeah.
So I think this might go with curriculum development, literacy, as well as test, like data-driven,
Evidence-based.
evidence-based, thank you, evidence-based, yep.
Evidence-based decision-making is usually the way that
Yes,
one comes
thank
up.
you.
Okay, so where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, we're in good shape, yep.
Building a schedule that supports literacy. Just in that area.
Okay, so if you have not yet submitted one, anything you think that we're missing? I'm gonna ask that question before we go any farther. Yep.
Leadership and vision.
Yeah.
Hmm.
anyone else who hasn't said anything yet, I will come back, I promise I will get everything up there, but I want to make sure that we get yep.
I think this falls under budgeting and the communication, but balancing the conflicting interest between the school committee and the finance committees.
Yep. I mean, honestly, you can also just even do that bigger question of balancing interests, but yes. We'll put FinCom SC up here. But we'll have a balancing interest question too, because it's not a bad one to ask superintendents in general anyway. Yep.
I mean, we might be able to add on to teacher professional growth, but I had something about developing and retaining quality teachers.
Yes.
I think that falls under school culture too, but yeah.
Okay, yep.
I think we need something up there about intervention, MTSS.
Can you just tell us what MTSS is for the non-professionals in the...
Tiered support systems.
There you go. Multi-tiered system of supports. The idea being that this we do for everybody, and then this we do for the kids who need it next, and then so forth. You had your hand up, yes.
Yes, so like non-traditional education / pathways.
Okay, Rob, did
I'm thinking just knowledge of law and regulations.
Yep.
Kind of with leadership and vision, like I'm just coming from Central, like I'm wondering about management style, encouragement, equipping others to do their jobs correctly and well.
Okay. Yep.
Grant writing? Yeah. Maybe under budget.
I mean, yeah, maybe we'll say that there was a thing here. Yeah.
I'm not sure how, if this would go in with the school culture, but one of the things that I've noticed about Alice is positivity. It's kind of changed the culture here. I've noticed it in some of the schools too. You see some of the administrators really working to better the culture. So I don't know if the word positivity or...
I mean, we should probably also say district culture here too.
Yes.
To be honest.
Food areas, we're looking just now.
Not just the chocolate chip cookies. Okay. So we probably, any others? Let's make sure we get everything up here. Probably need to do some merging of topics, first of all. Or that's too narrow and maybe we can eliminate it because it might get dealt with otherwise. The other thing to remember, by the way, is you can always suggest to the school committee that a topic that may not have been covered here. So something to consider as we're sort of doing this part is this a question that needs to be asked in this round? Is this something that we should ask, sort of forward to the school committee to ask in their round? Sometimes questions get repeated too, like that's also valid. I would start by saying they're not the same thing. It's not uncommon though to have the question of intervention and MTSS be part of a special education question in terms of that, how do you balance what level of intervention, okay? So my suggestion would be that these become a single topic, okay? How the person does it is there. Okay, that brings us down to 18.
I think balancing interests and basically communication, there's almost three coordination among, there's almost some collegiality between all of those.
Yep. No, that's true. There's that question of sort of district.
Yeah.
Are we a district? I always get it backwards.
School
School of districts or a district of schools?
Towns, one district, right?
Yep. Okay, so that would then be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
keep
do you
going.
want? Did you say you wanted 12, 13?
Yeah, I mean, we could probably do 15, but we probably want to be.
Could the mental health combine with the school culture or district culture?
Possibly. Yep.
Or potentially support for students as well, the one right above the mental health.
That's where I was going
Yeah.
to.
Yes. Yeah, okay. So here's what I then would, so first of all, how do we feel about that list of topics then?
Good.
Okay, so what we're gonna do now then is two things, okay? I'm going to ask the chair to ask you to make a motion to move into executive session, and the language is there. You'll ask for a motion, you'll ask for a second. Then while we have people clearing the room, I'm gonna ask each of you to come up and, as clearly as possible, please, write your name next to a question or a topic, and then make a note for yourself as well as to what it is that you did. And then I will take this, and what I will then do is over the next 24 hours, I'll send you a compendium of questions that MASC has, which you have no need to even look at if you don't want to, or you can use if you want to in formatting your question. And then I'd ask that you work with myself and the chair over the course of the next week or next few days, we need it by Friday, to put your questions together. And we'll put them then in an order that you'll get a packet for. Okay, clear? Yep.
Just so that people don't start moving, do we need to do a roll call session?
Yes.
Or would you like that to start?
So the chair is going to ask for a motion to go into, she's got all the language, and so she will do that.
Ask one question before we go.
Of course.
Do we have a point where, like, did these tap into all of the topics that you did so much pre-work?
Yep.
You did all the sticky notes and all that.
Yep.
Did we capture everything, or is there anything missing? Like, I assume we captured everything, because you did focus groups
There's
with.
nothing that is leaping out at me as missing.
And I guess that would be my other question. Are our questions going to be coming from places that people spoke to you about, like they like you came to the PTOs and you met the whole faculty?
Yep.
And so are we getting?
So I would say two things. I would say that you have captured what I would characterize as kind of the biggest things that were in there, which was in the report that I know many of you saw.
Yep.
The other thing is that you all yourselves are kind of a bit of a focus group intentionally. So that is also a kind of a fair balance as well.
Understood.
Yep. No,
Good.
I appreciate you
Good.
raising the
Yep.
question.
Yep.
It's a good question to ask. Yep.
And-
Anything else? Yes.
Just before we go in, but
Yes.
one more thing about the list.
Yes.
You said that we could potentially decide that a few of these we could push to the school committee.
Yes.
Do we want to decide if we think any of those should be pushed to the school committee?
Well, here's
or-
what I will say. You certainly can if you want to. If you want to sort of say, we're out on this round and we'd rather you did this in the next one. The other thing that I will say is that you can also decide that you want to kind of forward that recommendation as part of your final recommendation to the school committee too.
Okay.
So you're not bound by deciding on that tonight, I guess I would say. And you're asking the question doesn't preclude their asking the question either.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, good question.
I guess why would you put off asking the question? Just like because the sheer number of questions, or
Why would you put off asking the question? Sometimes for sheer number of questions, sometimes because you think that that's a question that should be asked in public by the deciding authority. Yes. Yep.
Cool.
Great. Madam Chair, over to you.
I'll now entertain a motion to entertain executive session to interview applicants for employment or appointment by a preliminary screening committee if the chair declares that an open meeting will not have a detrimental effect in obtaining qualified applicants, and so I declare that the committee will not return to public session.
Excellent. And so then you can say second.
A second?
I second.
Second.
Okay. Great. And
And a roll call.
yeah, exactly. And what I'd like you guys to do when we do roll calls is just say your last name and then say aye or nay. Okay, that way we can get things pretty quickly. So why don't we start over here?
Hart, aye.
Good.
Spomberg, aye.
Pelzarski, aye.
Kuhn, aye.
Ara Killian, aye.
McLaughlin, aye.
Flournoy, aye.
Adams, aye.
Dillman, aye.
Collins, aye.
Carol, aye.
Excellent. So we have a unanimous motion to go into executive session at 6:25.